Up next on CTV News tonight, motorists beware. Residential speed cameras are coming to the city of Bowie. Plus, residents speak out in favor of new security measures for rental properties. Details ahead. Stay tuned.
There is a cost, but the benefits outweigh the cost.
Good evening, I'm Byron Scott with a CTV News update. Bowie motorists, watch out. The city's planning to roll out new speed cameras beginning next month. Through the city's Safe Speed program, 21 cameras will be placed in residential areas. Legislation passed by the city recently, council allows the program to expand to residential neighborhoods. Bowie police say the 15,700 block of Pointer Ridge Drive will be one of the first locations for the new cameras.
So the penalties will be the first 30 days. Once the cameras are implemented, you will receive a warning for the first 30 days. After the 30 days, you will receive a citation if you're going 12 miles an hour or over. We want to make sure that your kids can go outside and play. You are able to walk and exercise on the street safely. And we want to educate our drivers that they need to realize that they need to slow down.
The speed cameras in the residential areas will run 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Well, after months of debate, County Council votes to approve security cameras at high-occupancy apartment buildings and senior complexes. The vote, which followed a public hearing, came down 9-0 with 2 members abstaining. The measure would require apartment complexes with more than 100 units and all senior housing residences to have security cameras at each entry and exit and each parking area. Supporters say the cameras are a crime-fighting tool. Here's some of the testimony today in County Council.
And I think cameras will help give us some sense of security. It won't deter the crime, but at least to give you a sense of security and safety, knowing that if something should happen, you'll have footage.
We received estimates at approximately $10,500 per building for the equipment and the installation. We have well over 200 buildings in the county, so we're talking millions of dollars to purchase and install the equipment.
Rent is the sole revenue that housing providers collect. So a lot of the costs, especially in operating expenses, are going to be passed on to tenants to ensure that they comply. These are significant costs that they had to provide up front for a lot of the hardware installation, and then on top of, you know, the data storage, the Wi-Fi, and the monthly maintenance fee. So it's going to be significant costs.
Landlords have 180 days to comply. While County Council is considering legislation that supporters say will increase minority and small business participation in county procurements, CB 067 will require each county agency to post on its website its annual procurement forecast so residents could see how contracts are being awarded.
It's significant because many of our MB communities saying that, you know, they don't feel the support, and frankly, if you look at some of the percentage, you can see why, because we're not meeting the goals that required, that we've stated that we were going to have a certain percentage of MBEs, working with MBEs, companies and contractors, and sometimes we're really just not meeting it. And so what we're trying to do is force our agencies to meet it. We can't enforce it on private companies, and we're not following the same rubric.
The bill will require departments to post procurement forecast listings on or before May 1st of each year. Well, it is Halloween, and children and adults across the DMV are dressing up in their best costume. Even local politicians are getting into the spirit. This morning, County Council Chair Tom Dernoga dressed up as the Wizard of Oz, but referring to himself as the Wizard of Odd. He wasn't the only odd one. Council member Juanita Fisher donned a candy corn-themed outfit. And by the way, if you and your kids are out trick-or-treating tonight, be careful and stay safe. And you're watching CTV News. I'm Byron Scott. Coming up, a former gubernatorial candidate is now running for a seat in Congress. We'll tell you who it is after the break. Stay tuned.
Sometimes I dream about you falling through the sky. Can hardly believe my own eyes.
Disasters don't take a break for the holidays. With your help, neither does the Red Cross.
Welcome back. A Bowie man dies months after he was physically assaulted. The victim is 53-year-old Millard Nowak Jr. Officers were called to the 7,000 block of Racetrack Road in Bowie back on August 29th. Police found the victim suffering from trauma to the head and he was hospitalized. He died from his injuries last Friday. Police say they are still looking for the killer. A $25,000 reward is being offered to anyone with information that leads to an arrest and an indictment in this case. Well, the union representing firefighters in Prince George's County says staff shortages are forcing its members to work excessive hours of overtime. The Prince George's County Professional Firefighters and Paramedics Association Local 1619 says crews were forced to work nearly 13,000 hours of mandatory overtime during August and September. Officials say last year that tally was 40,000 hours, and they blame staff shortages. The union says its members have been waiting patiently for relief only to see none arrive. Well, he ran an unsuccessful bid for Maryland governor back in 2022, but now Republican Dan Cox is back, and he's running for Congress. A former state delegate, Cox announced on Facebook yesterday that he's running for Maryland's 6th congressional district seat, which is currently held by Democrat David Trone, who is now a candidate for the U.S. Senate.
I'm speaking to you for the first time. We are unwavering in our commitment to secure our borders, control spending, and protect the freedoms and future of our families. We must never surrender this fight. We must never give up. And that's why I'm humbly asking for your vote to represent you in Congress, to do just that, to be your voice of reason and courage.
Several Republicans are running for Trone's congressional seat. And now Simon Bugs joining us for a preview of Tuesday's Sports Page. What's going on, Simon?
Hey there, Byron. And hey, everyone. And coming up in sports, PGCC men's basketball coach Terrell Harris reflects on his first year coaching the Owls, and the Washington Commanders decide to shake things up ahead of the trade deadline. You don't want to miss it.
Sometimes I dream about you falling through the sky. Can hardly believe my own
eyes. Disasters don't take a break for the holidays. With your help, neither does the Red Cross.
An Air Force veteran is not shying away from revealing some of the darkest moments of her life. This is Therese Garnier. The veteran is a former TV journalist, pageant queen, and now an author. She'll be releasing her memoir called No Longer Silent in November. In her book, Garnier writes about the sexual assault she experienced as a child and later as an adult while serving in the military. She says counseling has helped her grapple with those traumatic incidents and also gain peace from her pain.
Talking about it is the first step to healing. Because if you don't acknowledge that it happened, if you don't speak about it, then you're going to continually bury it. And it's going to continually have an impact on you, whether you realize it or not. It could be mentally, and it could be physically. For me, it was mentally. I was having nightmares all the time. Physically, I had different, pains and different things like that. I'm hoping that once they read this, they can see that, wow, this can happen to a child. These are the signs. If it is happening, this is what I should ask them. This is what I should not ask them. This is what I should do to help them. So that's the first group I'm looking to reach out to. The second group are veterans and active duty service members.
Garnier's memoir, No Longer Silent, will be released on Veterans Day. She'll be discussing the book of Busboys and Poets at 14 the V Street in D.C. on Monday, November 13th at 6 o'clock.
All right, sports fans, we begin your Tuesday Sports Page with some college hoops news. Terrell Harris's first year as the head coach of the PGCC men's basketball team went about as well as he could have hoped. He led the Owls to a 25-5 record last year, going 12-2 within the conference, and made the playoffs. CTV Sports caught up with Harris and asked him what his first year as head coach was like, and here's what he had to say.
Coming in as a first-year head coach, you know, that first seat is hot. Yeah. It's hot. You know, if you start losing the lead, that temperature, it turns up pretty quickly. But, you know, just having a real good group of guys and guys that are bought into the mission, I think that it helped out a lot. A lot of people don't know, but last year during this time, I lost my mom. So all I had was the team to really, you know, wrap their arms around me, and that was the men's and the women's team to make sure that I was straight during this time. So I appreciated that.
Harris's great work with the Owls was recognized as he won the Maryland JUCO College Coach of the Year award this past summer. And Harris gave credit to his team for helping him accomplish this.
It was a great experience, I had a great feeling because I know that my guys performed well enough for me to win that achievement. Without them, I wouldn't have been able to win that award. So, you know, it was good. It was a good award to win. You know, but to see 5 of our 9 sophomores going on to play college basketball at the 4-year university, and the other 4, you know, 1 went into the Air Force, 2 are working, and 1 finished up 2 classes this semester. To know that our guys are moving on and doing well, that's more important than the Coach of the Year award.
Harris and the rest of the Owls will take the court for their first game of the season on Saturday. Switching to some NBA news, the Washington Wizards are now 1-2 after falling to the Boston Celtics last night, 126-107. And forward Kyle Kuzma emphasized how much the team needs to do a better job of playing defense.
Outside of the barrage of threes that they hit, it was very easy for them to get to the rim. You know, gap or not, you know, at the end of the day, we have to take pride in guarding our man and, you know, letting that be the first line of defense and then worry about, you know, help side and stuff. But, you know, like I said, I think it's a learning lesson. I think the best thing about basketball is we play another game Wednesday and, you know, just got to strap it on. So.
The Wizards will match up next against the Atlanta Hawks tomorrow at 7:30. And wrapping up your Tuesday sports page, some surprising news out of the NFL as the Washington Wizards have traded defensive end Chase Young to the San Francisco 49ers for its 2024 third-round pick. The former Defensive Rookie of the Year was selected by Washington with the 2nd pick in the 2020 NFL Draft. Commanders defensive end Montez Sweat is also on the move as he was traded to the Chicago Bears for a 2024 second-round pick. Washington drafted Sweat with the 27th pick in the 2019 NFL Draft. And so far this season, Sweat recorded 6.5 sacks and 10 tackles for loss.
So, Simon, before the show, a lot of cats here in the studio were talking about the trade. They didn't seem very happy. Nor did you. Talk about that a little bit.
I was not happy, Byron, because it came as a shock to me because I did figure that at least one of the players would be traded, but both of them, it was a very questionable move because you have Chase Young, who is a Defensive Rookie of the Year, a Pro Bowler, and the other player. The other player. I feel like we could have gotten more value for both of them as well. So not only did we trade both of our best defensive players, but we also kind of didn't get as much as we should have gotten for them.
Are they rebuilding? Is that what's behind this?
It seems like they are rebuilding. So we'll see what Washington does moving forward.
Okay, Simon, thank you very much. A quick look now at our 3-day weather forecast tonight. It will be cold. Halloween for trick-or-treaters. Temps will drop to a low of 38 degrees. And Wednesday, mostly sunny with a high of 51. Thursday, sunny with temps reaching a high of 53. And Friday, pleasant weather continues with highs near 60. And now for the community calendar, the city of Bowie is holding its annual Green Bowie Veterans 5K. This run walk is free, family-oriented, and a fun way to honor veterans. It takes place November 4th at the Bowie Town Center behind the Five Guys. It starts at 8:30 in the morning. For more information, visit cityofbowie.org/5K. And that's our news tonight. I'm Byron Scott.
And I'm Simon Buggs.
See you tomorrow. Night.
Good night.